talking unless y'all giving me land and 2,000 or more every week. You hear me?
I'm not talking. I'm not talking unless y'all giving me likes, sharing, and subscribing. You hear me? Listen. Hey, bitch. We got to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Quite a few things happened this particular episode, and I want us to go ahead and get into some things. All right. So let us just go ahead without further ado. Go ahead and jump into it. All right. So first of all, we see where Brit and Angela, these two ladies, decided that they're going to link up. When they link up with each other, they go like for a walk or whatever the case is. And Angela says that her sister and she are not seeing eye to eye and that her mom is in the middle of it. So I don't know if there's more to the story because Angela does go on to more so tell us about the dynamic of Charles and her family, specifically her mom and Charles. But earlier she was saying that she has an issue with her sister and her mother is in the middle of it. So I don't know what that's about, but let us keep going. Okay. So Angela says that over the years, her sister, her mom, the family and stuff, you know, they had a good relationship with Charles, but things have shifted, right? And her mom and him ended up arguing with each other about cleaning up. It has something to do with cleaning up. And although I guess her family is trying to move forward, Charles really isn't. And for Angela, she's like, you know, it's really difficult because, you know, they be asking me for help financially. Like I take care of them financially. And a lot of it is coming from him. You know what I'm saying? So when you fall out with him, you kind of falling out with the person that's providing the money, just a little piece. Okay. And see, Angela, here's my thing with you, just a little piece. Angela, I don't know if it's editing that's messing you over, and it's because it's given that you're the liar that they try to make Drew out to be. Just a little bit, all right? Because I feel like your family don't fuck with Charles, and you know, because you're not finna say it on TV. It's because of that extra baby that people are alleging that he had on you. Because I remember if you were on my Patreon, but I kept having to pause because I'm like, wait a minute. I am confused on how she told, like Angela, in my opinion, will tell a story and not give context or details. Like she'll just tell the story, skip over that part and just keep going as if the middle part, like we don't need that. Because how she was talking about the child. Oh, I have my daughter. He has his daughter. We have our daughter. It was real weird because I'm like, wait a minute. His child and your child look like they about the same age. And I use confusion. Okay, so I'm trying to understand because you said y'all was together for 10 years. So where this kid? Who your mama? Where you came from? Who house you live in? Who house you from up the street? What's going on over here, little man? So I was just a little confused, so Miss Angela. And then when you sat up there and told us the story about the whole altercation that took place at the NBA game, and that was the reason you couldn't heal him. He was so hurt and devastated by that. And you couldn't heal him, so you moved out. Can you add that up? Can you add it up for me? So your calculator not working either? Thank you. It's not adding up, ma'am. Yeah, no. Now, I'll entertain you just a little bit. So let's say maybe that was the case. Maybe he was hurt. Maybe you did have to leave that relationship for a sec, or you guys didn't really leave the relationship, but you guys lived apart for some time. Is that when he went and had the other kid? I am confusion. Just a little piece, Miss Angela. Okay, because we're gonna clock the tea just a little bit more as we get. No. I'm not saying I don't like you. That's not what I said. I did not say that I do not like you. I'm just calling out the things as I call it out with everybody else. That's all that I'm saying. Okay. So you had mentioned it, something about your open book. Which book are you referring to? Okay, because I must be missing a few pages. I must have a piece of the Cliff Notes because which book are you talking about? But anywho. Let's keep going. So Brit, all right, we get to Brit, and Brit speaks on her sisters and the relationship not being as good right now. She says something about how she can relate to Angela, like when it comes to like the finances and stuff. You know, they help them out. and it can backfire. So then Angela was like, "What you mean backfire?" She was like, "Well, I'll go to my husband and ask him, to help me out. My sister may need this or that or whatever." And when my husband, gives or allows us to give to the family, specifically my sister, she'll come back and say something like, "Oh, he trying to be my daddy. He want to be my daddy." And it's like, no, nobody can replace our dad. Nobody wants to be your dad. Right. So when Brit mentions this, what I was thinking is like, I don't think it's that Mike want to be your daddy. I think Mike just don't want your essing up there relying on them for everything. At some point, I do think that, hell, people gonna get tired. Like, what are you doing to help yourself? What are you doing to help? Because if we continue to provide, a fallback plan for you, you're gonna keep falling back on us, expecting us to take care of it. But at what point are you going to get up? All right, and do what you're supposed to do. So I don't really fault him on that part, but it did make me question, are you the sister that Brittany had to fire? Was it you? Because you be always looking for a handout or something. Like, what is that about? But anywho, because I do feel like sometimes family members be going through their own struggles and then be expecting you to dig them up out of it or help them out of it. It's like, I ain't create that for myself. Okay, well, I gotta, right? So I get it. Now, Britt, understand this, love. Just because I might have your back a little piece on this doesn't mean that I'm not gonna call you out later. All right? Excuse me. So, Britt mentioned earlier that she doesn't have a lot of friends, okay? In my personal, maybe take note, potentially. It doesn't always have to be a bad thing, though, when people don't have, a lot of friends. Maybe sometimes people just don't, maybe they prefer it that way. Maybe they prefer not to. I don't know. But anywho, she also went on to say, and females are either going to love her or hate her, but she takes the friendship word very serious. And I could be reading into it a bit too much, but it was when she said the word females for me, that was like, it was something about that term. You know what I'm saying? It was because I feel like most of the time when I hear stupid niggas on podcasts, they like to say females, versus just saying, women or, the ladies or whatever. But she was like, females. And I'm like, who you be around? Who you be around like that? They just say that females. It was somebody just for me. So that crossed my mind. And the fact that you have issues with women is interesting because it seems like to me you always think somebody jealous of you. Like, I don't know I need to know more about like your background. So I need to know more because you're the type of person to me that literally create things up in your own head. You the type of person where if you're sitting in a room and in my opinion, I feel like this is like trauma that you have to work through in my personal. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, I want to keep coughing in y'all ear and stuff like that. But you're the type of person to me, in my opinion, where if you're sitting in a room with a group of people and they bust out laughing, you're so insecure inside that you're going to think they laughing about your ass. Whole time, they probably got something else they laughing about, some shit that happened earlier that day, they homegirl that done fell out of a chair. Like, it could have been anything, but you're going to assume that they're thinking and they're talking about you. Consider the possibility that other people got other shit going on in their life than to be sitting up thinking about you. It's something about that. And it's some type of trauma that you have not worked through that I want you to work through a bit more, okay? Yeah, so that was just one thing that stuck out when you talked about how you didn't have a lot of girlfriends, and you bring up the fact that, oh, girls are either going to love me or hate me. I take it serious, whatever the case. But you ain't say girls, you said females. You often think people are jealous of you, and it kind of shows itself up later on throughout this episode. You are one of those influencers, in my opinion, that like to show off and portray as though they're very confident because of how their body looks or how their face card is, when internally you insecure as fuck, crying under the pillow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Under the sheets, like your mental is in the trash. Okay. And I really want you to work on your inner. I need you to work on your inner. I do. Let's keep going. And in my opinion, despite the people dragging you and saying something about your face and the work done, I still think that Brit is a beautiful woman. You know, when I was watching last week's episode, I was thinking to myself, like, yo, I think Brit knows she either got like bad contour or either her nose is crooked. And I realized no, the contour was crooked. They did her wrong in that blue jean outfit. Now I don't know if she did it or someone else did it, but they did not, it was not complimentary to Brit. I think that she is a beautiful woman. I just think she has things she needs to work on the inside. All right. So Angela wants to move forward with Shamia, she says, and Brit says that Shamia has been very warming and welcoming. Okay. She's like, she been real nice to me, girl. I haven't had any issue, real welcoming, real warming to me. But that motherfucking Kenya Moore, that's who I can't take. And we tried to talk about it at the Balmain event or whatever like that, but she still was getting a piece of snappy with me, and I didn't really like that SHI. And she got one more time, girl. That's what I had told my family when I met with them the other day. Because for some reason, I can't keep her name out my mouth. And for some reason, I keep thinking about how she's treating me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why she's living rent-free in my fucking head. But what I will tell you is that she got one more time, and then I'm going to let her have it. Because I got something I got to prove, girl. I'm trying to be on this show, honey. So I got some things I got to prove, and I'm going to do what it is that I got to do. You know what I'm saying? But even though I get what you're saying. I know you feel like, Kenya has pretty much given the same energy as Shamia. But for some reason, I'm having an issue with Kenya only. Yeah, it's just something about her. And I don't really like it. You know what I'm saying? I just, cool. Because that's how I'm looking at it. Kenya not giving you no different energy than what Shamia has given you. But for some reason, Kenya has you bothered. Well, let's keep going. All right. So she says that she herself, keep in mind, make a note. She says she talked with Kenya at Balmain. She felt like Kenya was on the same energy. She says that Kenya makes jabs. Here. Kenya makes jabs. Then follows it up by saying, I make jabs, as well. But, I don't really mean that by it. Hello? What do you mean? So it's okay for you to make jabs and for you to not mean anything by it. But when Kenya does it, it's a problem. Now, keep in mind, I don't think Kenya made any jabs towards you from what they've shown us on camera. I haven't caught that, but I thought it was very interesting that your jabs are okay, but her jabs are not. And you act like her jabs were life-threatening. Again, we're going back to the place where I feel like there's something going on in here. There's something going on where you need the approval of the queen, literally, okay? There is something, it's all you all up in here with yours. And I need you to go sit in somebody's chair that's not in front of your husband, okay? I'm just being honest. Listen, okay? Don't be upset, okay? Okay, listen, I don't dislike any of you guys. I don't. I'm just giving you my thoughts as I watch the show, okay? Scoot back up off me, please, just a little bit. Thank you. Let's keep going. So as we move along, we're moving along, and we get to Shamia. Okay, Shamia sits with her sister. Of course, she still has a lot going on with Shiloh, trying to figure out this surrogacy. She has a lot of things on her plate, but right now she's been able to get in the studio with RL. Y'all know RL from the group Next. RL that has the song called The Good Man. Will You Be My Wifey? That RL. So she's in the studio with him, and they came up with a song, or I don't know if they came up with it together. I know she's been working in the studio with him, but her song and single that she dropped a few weeks back is called Never Had. When I tell you that song, girl, it gets you in your okay, like it's cute. It is a bop. Shout out to Shamia. Shout out to her. Shout out to the ladies doing music and doing good music at that. I am definitely here for it. So the songs sound great. Shamia has a beautiful voice. Love that for her. Do your thing, mama. Okay. So I also love the fact that she's working with RL because I like a lot of his music. So I'm like, okay, you got a great voice. He has a great voice. He does great music. Y'all getting together? Oh yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Shamia talks about Angela. She's not really feeling good in her spirit about how things went between she and Angela. So now she's just at this place where, listen, I just want to move forward. So I want to give her an olive branch. When I tell you she meant to be literal with it, Miss Ma'am wanted to go and order some olive oil and put a branch in it. Shamia's so funny, bro. I wouldn't have thought about no shit like that. Okay. I wouldn't have thought, but I tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing, Miss Shamia. You want to know what I'm gonna say? Listen. I like my girl Stormy, but it's gonna be a piece of shade. Okay. Now, bitch, listen. I will give a hoe some olive oil, and a branch quickly before I give a bitch a Gucci bag. Understand? I'm not her. Okay, and you lucky if you would have got that damn, because I'm not finna waste no good ass olive oil on your ass, okay, that I could be using to cook with. Excuse me, you better take this fucking branch. Okay, and matter of fact, you better take this conversation, because that really should be enough. But anywho, shout out to her. All right, so Shamia says that Angela felt like, well, since you over here having Porsha back and you want to be a lap dog for her, then let me hop over here and Drew lap, because we really could go toe to toe if you really want to get into some things, because I don't like how you moving with that. Period. Okay, and Shamia like, girl, oops, just kidding. I got too much going on in my own life, girl. I don't want to fight with you. You want to argue. I'm not trying to argue with you. That's not what I'm trying to do. So you know what? Let's move forward. Okay, so that's the type of energy that Miss Shamia is on. So we get to Porsha and her team. And Porsha is getting back in the game, okay? The game of business, that is. Y'all know Porsha did sit herself down. I don't think Porsha took on a lot of opportunities, removed some opportunities under her belt, because in her head, she was going to be a housewife, right? She was going to be in her soft girl era. And unfortunately, it did not work out for her. So now she's having to get back out there in the field of business and do some work. Okay, that's what she's working on, and I don't see nothing wrong with it. I honestly wish she would have never even sat down and stopped. I don't think you should put all your eggs over there in that man basket. I don't care how much he got. Okay, so there's that. So she said she was planning on retiring at 40. It's not working out that way. So now she got to come out of retirement, right? So that's what she's been focusing on, her business. She wants to expand Pampered by Porsha, and I guess she wants to make it more of a lifestyle brand. It seems like she wants to do more than just sheets and things. I don't know. She might do some type of curtains. I know she might start doing some pillows or something. So she's working on expanding the brand, and I'll be honest, I'm here for it. I'm like, oh, Porsha, do what you got to do, honey. Do what you got to do. Go ahead and pamper it by Porsha and get a whole look. And that's something I felt like Sheree should have did too. Because not only did I think Sheree should have got in the field of like fitness, because her body is amazing in my personal, but also she said that she decorated her own house. And I think that from what Sheree showed us, her house looked great. So I'm like, girl, you need to do something in that arena too. So I think this would be dope for Porsha. So I say go for it. What else is going on? So she says her brand of business, Porsha says her brand of business has been to always be honest and build a lifestyle brand. Okay, that's what she said. And I'm like, Porsha, you have not always been honest. Okay, and you know that. I don't even know why you put that in there as a part of your brand, but girl, get to the lifestyle of it all, and we here for it. Okay, everybody lie here, there. Okay, and still be billionaires out here. So, girl, just you ain't even have to put that piece in there. But anywho, so she's working on Go Naked as well, because she has Pampered by Porsha. She also has Go Naked. She likes that. She still plans on having, she's open to more ambassadors, but she says that they got to be serious about their content. So anybody trying to go over there and work with Miss Porsha, get your SHI together, okay? One of her team members says that Drew reached out to him. She reached out to him about him working with her and Dennis. And then he goes on to say that Dennis told him that he was well connected and trusted in the business, and says that he could be helpful in Drew's career. Now, I'll be honest, I started to question, well, who gave you a call for real? Was it Drew that gave you a call, or was it Dennis that gave you a call? Who was it? Okay, but either way, it seems like to me, you may have even taken them up on the opportunity already to work with Dennis while you're over there. This is another thing too. Let me say this. People are like, when did Dennis become a Quincy Jones? When did Dennis become that kind of conversation kind of annoys me a little bit, because just because a person owns a restaurant, are they not or own a hookah lounge or whatever he has, are they not supposed to go and expand and do other stuff? Granted, yes, we were introduced to Kandi Burruss by way of music. She's went from that point to open up a sex line, Okay, she went on to open up her other restaurants and stuff, and ain't no telling what else Kandi got under her belt. So I'm a little confused as to why people are trying to make it a joke out of what Dennis is trying to do. Like, to me, I just think that's lame in my personal. If he wants to try and work on something new, like, what's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know who people are today. They may be somebody completely different in 5 years. Somebody in an industry might take him even more serious. Who knows? Maybe that's been a desire of his. He didn't know how he was going to get there until he made money off of the other businesses. Okay. Hell, we be having Zealous. They be out here on the street pushing weight, and then they done morphed it to somebody completely different. So it's like, I guess, but okay. Either way, that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. So Porsha says her issue with Dennis has been him filming with Sidora. So she's feeling a way about that, and refers to her as she refers to Drew as single white female. And I'm like, now Porsha girl, stop that. She said something like I know you wear go naked hair, you supposed to promote, my business and stuff, but you could never, you're not supposed to be me. You can't be me. And I'm like, what is going on with this energy towards Drew? Yes, y'all do favor each other. We've said it since she's come on the show, y'all do. But I don't think that Drew wants to be you at all. And then you approached her with damn go naked. You acting like she came to you with go naked. That's not how that worked. And I just remembered something I wanted to make a note on so I can make sure that I talk about that. Hold on. So yeah, I don't think that woman actually wants to be you like that. But that's just my personal. I don't see that. I think you extended her an opportunity. Drew saw it to be a great opportunity. She took it on. It's no different than when Dennis presented her with something when nobody else was presenting her with anything. She took on the opportunity. Okay. So Porsha has yet to fire Drew. She told us up. She got a whole HR department. She started listing off all the different people. It's a whole corporation. And then saying that she hasn't fired yet. I think she said she was hoping she gets fired. She can't just say like she's done with her. And maybe it's because they got a contract. Either that or maybe Porsha ain't got no issue with Drew like she plays out to have on the show. She's just using it as a storyline because as I played that audio for you guys in another video when she said she was glad that Bravo allowed her to still get a check and bring whatever it was she could bring to the show, considering the fact that the housewife lifestyle she was supposed to give them, she didn't. So, of course, I feel like Porsha's using this situation with Dennis and Drew as a storyline to keep herself interesting for the show. So I don't think that she really has an issue with Drew for real. And at this point, I do feel like it's a scheme that Drew, potentially Ralph, Dennis, and Porsha has come to us with. Okay, it is indeed a scheme that y'all about to set up to come to us with. That's how I'm starting to feel. Okay, now no. That's just what I'm thinking. So that's what they got going on. So let's get to Drew and Ralph, all right? Because he's working on football with the boys and stuff. And I was glad to see him interacting with Josiah and saying that he's still being a figure to Josiah despite what's happening between he and Drew. So I was really happy to see that. But I do have a question for Bravo. Y'all scoot to the back. Bravo executives and producers of some sort, decision makers, can y'all come to the front? Who the fuck? Excuse me, sorry. It's so not demure. Excuse me. I just had a question and wanted to understand exactly how is it that Ralph, part-time husband, whatever you want to call him, gets the opportunity to have a confessional, but then you guys completely X'd out Kenya Moore. I am a little confused about that. I think no. Let me just tell you. I think despite what Kenya has done, that has led up to the moment of what is going to lead up to, and you guys suspending her, I think it would have been perfectly okay if she would have been allowed a confessional, at least for the time that she's going to be on the show. Duh, right? But for Ralph to get a confessional. It's interesting. I don't even think we've seen a confessional from Mike. I don't think we've even gotten one from Charles. How is it that Ralph gets a confession? What makes him so special? Is it that he's easier on the eyes than the other guys? What is this liking to Ralph that is allowing him to have a bit of a confessional for a split second of a time? I don't even think he graced our screen for more than 3 minutes. No. I was just wondering. You guys can definitely get back to me. You can email me at me, maybe on Twitter or something. But just let me know your thoughts and how did you guys add up that math and to where it made sense for you guys. No. I don't want to hear anything about the punishment or anything that Kenya does next week, which resulted in her being suspended, because whatever it was, you guys are still willing to show it. No. I'm just telling you what you're still willing to do. You're still willing to show it. You're still willing to utilize her image and also show what led up to the quote unquote suspension. So if that's the case, I think it would have been perfectly okay if she would have just filmed confessionals, at least for the time that she's going to be on the show, for the 5 episodes that you're giving her. And other people are just saying, we thank you so kindly. Okay. All right. Get back to me. Please get back to me like the same way I wanted you guys to get back to those transitions because they're whack. Yeah. Make sure you do that. Let's keep going. All right. Let's keep going. So Drew and Ralph, they're chatting. All right. And of course, they can't talk about the divorce amongst the kids. They can't have that conversation. But Ralph says their daughter brought him an article or something, brought him some showing some stuff about the divorce. I don't know. Okay. She could have. Okay. Because people be thinking the kids don't be knowing, and the kids be hella aware all on social media. They know how to read. They know what's going on. Okay. So Ralph says that Drew also was sending him things talking about him being a narcissist. And she said, "You are a narcissist." He said, "Girl, please. Get the hell on. Like, girl, ain't nobody no narcissist." Okay. So then they asked her what makes him a narcissist. She had to look up the word. I feel like a lot of people have to do that. Okay. They throw the word around. I think a lot of them have to look it up. She looked it up and she's like, yep, pretty much. That's Ralph. Okay. Now, Ralph is all of those things. So then she says that she's willing to give him the kids. They go back, have a conversation. She says she's willing to give him the kids whenever he wants them. And they talk about the judge's orders and stuff. And she says she understands that the orders or whatever the judge may say may not work in the favor of both of them, but she's willing to work with Ralph ultimately. And Ralph's like, they work good with me. And she said, oh, okay, I know. Because I know you like being down there in the basement. Okay, I know you like that. He's like, I mean, whatever you want to think. If that's what you want to think, then cool. She's like, well, you the one that wanted the bachelor life. He was like, well, no. Like, when I got married, like, I wanted a family. You know, I'm sorry that things didn't go the way that we wanted them to go, but like, that's what I wanted. But you're going to believe what you want to believe. Let me tell y'all, that whole conversation gave to me that Drew really did want this divorce from him. At least that's what I think. So remember, they said that when they got the divorce, they said Ralph filed first. But what we learned is that they were racing to the courthouse for one to beat the other in filing. But I think Drew may have told him, you know what? I am done. For real this time. I am absolutely good. And I am about to, I'm just going to move on. And I think in an effort to embarrass her, not much different than when he waited until she dropped her album to put a whole statement out there, right? To rain on her parade. I definitely believe he ran down to the courthouse to try and file for a divorce first, okay? Knowing that that's not ultimately what he really wanted. But, you know, that's just my personal and what I think. So she says that they'll always be family, and she says she's at a place where she understands exactly why it didn't work out. She says she just wants the kids to be good at the end of the day, and when it comes down to the divorce, she says that she's not trying to destroy him. Like, I'm not. However, I do have a little bit of questions because the interaction between the two was very interesting. I thought that it was very calming. It was a very good interaction between the two. And for me, I'm like, if this man is a man that wants alimony and child support from you, I would have expected her energy towards him to be much, much different. You know, not wanting to film with him, not wanting to have anything to say to him. I don't know. But the other portion of that makes me think that maybe she did this intentionally to show if the judge watches this, maybe using it as a form of evidence, how calm she can be in situations and how she can handle stuff. Maybe this is some proof of something, right? Where she's showing where she's tried to work with him despite him acting however he wants to act in the courts and stuff. So I don't know, but it definitely crossed my mind. All right. Let's get to Kenya and Kelly because I actually like this moment between the two. I told y'all I likes me some Kelly, honey. I do like me. I'm glad. So far, she ain't let me down. She may have did a little piece, just a little piece when it came to the sit down with Porsha. But so far, I am liking Kelly. So she arrives to Kenya's salon with a bodyguard. Yeah, she arrived to this lady's salon with a bodyguard. And the reason why is because she said her ex-husband had the audacity to make threats against her, saying that he was going to unalive her in the damn courtroom. In the courtroom in front of the judge. So that is why she hired, a bodyguard, okay, to be near her. She says she can't afford to have her children without their mom. Keep in mind, they have had, physical situations in the past, is what she said. So she'll be a fool to not take what he's saying serious. Okay, so she can afford a bodyguard. That is what she went and got. All right. So her and Kenya are kind of bonding in a moment about, I guess, their divorces and stuff, things they may have or may not have been through, and opening up businesses and things. I think Kelly mentioned that he wants the business from her. I think he want to take the business from her. So I think they're in court about that. I can't remember if she won. I'm hoping she did. Okay, considering the fact that she was going to open that location in Sandy Springs, it hasn't opened just yet, from my knowledge. So, hopefully, she's still going to be able to move forward with that. Now, Kelly at this point, y'all, is realizing that she really likes Kenya. She's like, I really like Kenya. I don't know what's going on with Brit. I don't know what that's all about, but I have not experienced what this woman has experienced with Kenya. Okay, I'm here for Kenya. Good. Because BITCH, you was so ready to sit up there and be so team your friend, all because Kenya asked about a damn ring and you felt like Kenya was throwing shade. Do y'all see what I mean when I say in my other video that I did about the Brit situation? And I was like, you the type of person or type of woman that will get your nigga tied the hell up because you're over exaggerating, making the situation bigger. And then he about won't feel like he need to react or whatever the case. And it's not just towards a Kenya, it's just towards anybody. Because look at how Kelly was allowing herself to be so wrapped into what you had to say. Like, hell no, first of all, you need to think for yourself always, okay? Assess situation before you just run out there and get yourself tied the hell up. But anywho, there's that. So, yeah, so Kenya wants to franchise, all right? She wants to franchise her business, but she doesn't know. She's a little afraid. She's nervous. She has to recoup some of the money that she put in. She put about $400,000 into this. She said that was her daughter's college fund. So she's really, really nervous about it, For me, I can imagine how Kenya has been feeling, y'all, this past year. Knowing that you had a solidified position, they've never checked you. Well, I don't know if they have or haven't, but I'm going to say they haven't checked you on your behavior in the past. So what you did in your mind may have been okay. They was fine with it up until it happened, but they never reprimanded or did anything. So I see why you went into that situation thinking that it was okay, because they never chin checked you before. And then now, in a sense, you done messed up your bag just a bit. So I can imagine I don't want to actually imagine, but I'll say this. I hate that that's where you are, knowing that you put $400,000 over here. I don't really see her make a lot of posts about her salon. I don't know what's happening. Hopefully she has some people, some seats and butts and stuff. But I think Housewives' income would have definitely helped a great amount to keep that business going. And I don't know, especially with businesses closing left to right. I don't know what that looks like for her, but girl, I can imagine that's a bit scary. That's sad. You know what I'm saying? So, and also keep in mind, y'all know she gonna only be on maybe 5, 6, if that, episodes. So she ain't even, I think you get paid per episode. So if she ain't on the rest of the episodes, then she ain't getting no money for real. So at least that's from my understanding. I'm not in her contract to know the facts, okay? So I don't know, but that's my assumption. So there's that. That's what's going on with Kenya. But I really did love the moment between Kenya and Kelly, supporting her in that way. Like, it's gonna work out. Like, don't think about nothing else. Like, you're gonna be fine, I really like that. I like that. Okay, shout out to Miss Kelly, honey. Kelly coming through. Okay, I feel like Kelly's spot secured for the next season. I mean, I don't know about nobody else, okay? Maybe some old heads, yes. But out of the newbies, I do feel like Kelly's spot is secure. But it's just my thoughts, all right? Let's get to Brit. Brit and her sister. So she meets with her sister Cher, who I think may be the big sister. And so she talks about how Cher would fight her battles for her when girls want to fight her in high school and stuff. So Cher and Brit talk about their mom. I guess there's been some issues, and Brit's mechanism when she feels a way is she would block her mama. When she don't want to talk and she don't have feelings about something, that's her defense mechanism, which is to block people. Cha. Listen, I can recall a time where I used to hang up on hoes in their face and block their ass. Okay, that was just things I had to work through. I handle situations so different now. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes me feel like you need help beyond your sister. Okay. What else? So she and Brit have issues because she's always with her husband. That's been an issue. She's always with that guy. She doesn't like that she tries to have, she doesn't like that when she wants to have a relationship with her sister or talk to her sister or anything, Mike is automatically there. Some people don't like that. And, just make sure that you communicate that. Not everyone is going to follow that right out the gate and just have the courtesy to be like, let me step out the room, my homegirl calling me. Some people just gonna automatically put you on speaker because they're so comfortable around their partners that they're gonna assume that you are too. And sometimes it's just SHI that you just want that person to hear. And you would think that would be an automatic, but I feel like sometimes people don't even be thinking about it. They just, and I'm not saying that it's right, but just make sure you let her know, or anybody, like, hey, you by yourself? Sometimes you just got, hey, who you with? You by yourself? Okay. Or BIT, when I call you, don't be around nobody when I call. Like, okay, step out. Like, what the, because I ain't talking to them. Okay, period. But anywho, that's been one of her issues, right? She says she feels like she can't really just be vulnerable with her sister because Mike has to be a part of that. All right. And I can understand the sister feeling like you forcing the NIGGA on me. That's your man. That ain't mine. Yeah, he my brother-in-law, but he ain't my brother. And even if I had a brother, okay, speaking for her, I want to talk to just my brother. I won't want to talk to my brother and his wife. I want to just talk to my brother. If I want to talk to Mike, I'm gonna call Mike. And I ain't called Mike, bitch. I called you. Okay. So do what you need to do and let me just talk to you. Okay. So she's feeling a way that she can't really have access to her sister. I guess how she used to, because it automatically comes with Mike. All right. The sister goes on to let her know, like, I'm not even hating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that you're married or whatever. Be in your relationship. That's not the issue for me. The issue is you don't seem to have time for me because you're too busy having time over there. All right. I don't know why I feel like that might be a slight bit unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? Just a little piece, not a whole lot. It's like, have time for your people. He gonna be right there. He'll be right there. Matter of fact, Mike probably like, please leave. Okay, I promise you. Mike is like, girl, go ahead. Nah, go get food with your sister. No, go ahead. Mike probably, as much as he love to be under you, probably would like to have at least a 2-hour breather sometimes. So, yeah. Anywho, so her sister, okay, so then she goes on to say this in the confessional. Keep in mind, the sister says, I'm not hating or anything like that. It's just that sometimes when I'm like going through my depressional states or whatever, I just want to have a conversation with my sister. I want to be able to be vulnerable with you. So Brit says in a confessional that it's hard. It's hard because, she isn't where she wants to be in a relationship. So it's hard for her to watch my happiness, because she's not in the same space. I'm so goddamn tired. Good. Did you not hear your sister? For me. Okay. She just told you that she not hating. She don't give a fuck about your happiness. It's not about that. Okay? It's about when she wants to have time with just her sister. That's what she wants. What? Now you feel like your sister hating too? Because that's what I'm thinking. You always think somebody, like, look at your tagline. What, I don't even know what the tagline was because it's so terrible. Of course I'm something, so of course there's somebody somewhere throwing shade or whatever. Like, everybody ain't hating, everybody ain't throwing shade on you, ma'am. Everybody's not doing that. Did you not hear what your sister said? Your sister wants to be able to have time with you. She's not talking anything about the happiness of your relationship. She's trying to work on her relationship with you. And you ain't trying to have no relationship with your sister for real. That's how I feel about it. Hell, you up there crying to Mike's sister, telling her about the issues within your sisterhood or whatever with your own sisters, how you guys aren't as close. So when your sister comes to you and she's telling you what the issue is as to why you guys aren't close, I just think make sure that you take heed to what she's saying and just work on that so that you guys can have a better sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? And then my other part is do your, I'm going back reflecting on when she talked about her sister wanting money or something like that. Like she said something about it backfiring because she has to go to Mike and stuff. And I wonder, does the sister know the money is coming from Mike? Maybe she's thinking it's coming from you. I don't know. But no, I would think she does know it's coming from Mike because that's when she says that Mike be acting like her dad. Right. And I don't think he acting like a dad. I think he telling you what you might need to work on potentially because they likely don't want to be the fallback people all the time. And I don't fault him for that. But I do fault Brit for assuming that her sister might be a slight bit jealous of her happiness in her relationship when that's not the matter at hand. But that's just what I think. Okay. That's just what I think. Like, break away. It's okay to have a friendship with your sisters and other friends, and you ain't gotta be up under that. That ain't none of my big girl. Okay. Okay. Whatever works for you guys. Good luck. Okay. Let's keep going. And no, let me scoot back just a little bit because it just really bothers me that you hear what you want to hear. And that be the shit that gets you in trouble. And that's probably why your sister had to keep coming up to that motherfucking school getting ready to fight somebody because you would hear shit that you want to hear. In addition to that, because you would make situations bigger than what the fuck they is, okay? BIT could have been trying to get to the motherfucking, pencil sharpener, excuse me, and you done took offense. Now you done created a damn situation. Big sis got to come down and about done got herself mollywop because everybody ain't going to play with you. It's like, what's going on? And you want to have a baby? Grow up. No. Grow up just a little piece, okay? Just a little piece. I'm not trying to come down too hard on you. I am just saying. I just think you need to grow up, okay? No, you can't be a boss and that's how you move and that's how you handle situations, okay? Bosses don't move like that. Get that together. All right, let's get to Drew and Dennis, please. Can we move forward? And let's get to Drew and Dennis. Thank you. So then they're in the studio. Drew's working on music. And Drew says that when it comes to Porsha, Dennis, her, all of that, she said it wasn't no drama with her working with Dennis until now. When she says until now, she means until filming. Okay? Then Drew says, although Porsha is going through a lot, what she's doing with Dennis is not affecting her, and Drew ain't wrong. She's not lying. So she asked Dennis to bridge the gap, and Dennis like, I tried. He said, I'm gonna let you take the lead on that because I tried to bridge it. I saw her, it wasn't even no big deal when I sat up there and met with her the last time. Okay, you know what baby mama did? She pulled me in between the alleyway and cussed me the dog fuck out in between them buildings back there in that Rolls Royce. I didn't know if I was gonna make it out alive or not. So I'm gonna let you take the lead on that. It's just a little piece, okay? She already ain't got no damn storyline. So if you go and talk to her, at least that'll help out because the shit done blew up in her face. So I'm not for the deal. I did what I could do, okay? So that's just where we at with that, all right? So Drew says, at this time, listen, the door is closed. The door is closed. I'm not finna go talk to that lady. I'm not finna go talk to him. I'm not finna deal with it right now. Porsha has really been avoiding conversations with me. I've been trying to hit this up. I've been trying to have conversations. And every time she act like she too motherfucking busy, okay? So guess what? We ain't got to talk about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. Okay? So that's where Drew is. She's talking about the door closed and she ain't finna keep dealing with this shit. So right before everybody gets ready to head to the bank on the Bankhead, Shamia talks with Porsha. So she's talking with Porsha about apologizing to Angela. And I guess she's nervous about it because I guess she don't know if it's going to be well received or something. And she asked Porsha, has she talked to Drew? And Portia's like, no, I haven't talked to Drew at all, and it's not going to happen tonight. It didn't happen the other night. It didn't happen the other day. It's not going to happen tonight. It didn't happen before filming, and it's not going to happen. I'm not going to have a conversation with her until we're probably at the reunion because I need to use this for my storyline. So, no, I didn't. Okay, I think that when we do talk, it needs to be just she and I. Like, that's all that it needs to be. So, BIT, you can make time to talk to Kelly. You can make time to talk to Kelly. Make it make sicky bicky. Make it make sicky bicky. Okay, because it's not. Okay. You had time to talk to Kelly, the same woman that called you out for being with that lady husband or whatever the case was. But you ain't got time to sit over here and talk to her. You got time to go over there and meet with your mama. You didn't have time to get your mama together because that head and that drip on the side was very disappointing. Okay, shame on you. But you had time to meet with these other folks, but you ain't got time to have a quick conversation with Drew when she's blowing you up and shown that she's hit you up. Girl, stop playing. It won't happen tonight. I think it need to be a conversation. We can have a one-on-one. Well, have it. What you running for? Have it. So Kelly and Brit talk about how they don't feel safe in Bankhead. Okay? They don't feel safe in the Bankhead. Well, maybe it was just one of you that felt that way. Okay. Well, let's keep going. So they get to the bank dinner. And the ladies were supposed to wear all black. And Kenya, Miss Rebellious, is like, I'm going to wear green. Talk about she ain't had no black in her closet. Then said she didn't get the memo. Girl, you got that memo. You just wanted to overlook that memo. And you wanted to be the one that stood out. Okay? Because since we over here going into the bank where the money at, where the money reside, then I'm going to put on money reside green. Period. That's what I'm wearing. Okay? So that's what Kenya did. Kenya goes around. She hugs everybody. She even gives Drew like a air kiss, like, you know, just like a quick something. She gets over to Brit to embrace her as she has every single time that she's met this woman. And she feels away. Kenya, like, oh my God, no, you're not finna give me a little pity pat on the back when you've given everybody else hugs. Like, girl, don't do me like that. The validation for Kenya Moore is crazy. The fact that you want to be her best friend, though, is insane. Because that's what it's giving. You want to be Kenya Moore's best friend, and she's not even giving you that because she don't even much know you like that yet, girl. Give her some time. She was going to come around. Okay? So, Kenya tells her, like, well, I didn't want to get makeup on you, which makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. She barely hugged people that she's known way longer than you. Everybody understood. Plus, everybody was sitting down. Maybe if you were standing up, it probably would have been a bigger embrace. Who knows? But I get it. Okay. So Shamia walks in and she gives Angela the olive oil with the branch in it. And she's like, oh, my husband loves to cook with this. And she's like, well, I don't want him to cook with it. I don't want him to cook with it, but, you know, I just want to let you know that I'm extending an olive branch because I want us to be able to move forward. I want us to be in a much better place. I want us to be good. I want us to see each other. Okay. That's just all that I want. Like, let's move forward. So, of course, they agree. And the ladies definitely go on and they move forward. So Kelly is sitting at the table. She calls out Drew. So Kelly calls out Drew and says that, you know, Drew, you brought somebody to my event that was uninvited. Yeah, you ended up, it was supposed to be like a mommy and me type thing, but you brought your makeup artist. And then when you brought him, he didn't even buy anything. Okay. So yeah. And I said, now wait a minute. I didn't. Is this the same makeup artist that Porsha said Drew took a very long time with? So he couldn't do Porsha's face and it ended up being a 15-minute face? Something about that not adding up because he walks in with Drew. Oh, I didn't believe you then. I really don't believe you now. But anywho, so Kelly decides to call Drew out for that, okay? And maybe Drew was wrong for inviting him, and especially if it was supposed to be like I don't know if it was a mommy and me event, actually. I don't know if it was just for mommy and daughters or whatnot, but she did say she was bringing her sister, so Kelly was expecting that, but she wasn't expecting a makeup artist. I think Drew may have assumed just because it's like in a retail location that it was okay, but I mean, if you had to tell her about your sister coming, I think you could have just hit her up and said, hey, is it okay if he come as well, you know? But aside from that, what I did not like was when Kelly tried to only call out Drew for not buying anything. And then Miss Kenya said, well, did anybody else not buy anything? She said, yeah. They said, who? And then she looks back at Drew or whatever the case is. And Drew's like, girl, don't try me, Bookie. Okay, because I did buy some. She says, here's my text. I've been associating with the associate there because I'm trying to get a blazer for my son or whatever, or she got a blazer. She said she got it. I don't know. She didn't show the receipt, but she showed the interaction. But my thing was this also, okay? I don't know if Drew brought it. Drew, if you did, bring the receipt to the doggone reunion. If not, we gonna believe what Kelly said. Do I feel bad about you not buying anything? Not necessarily, because if she gonna call out you, she should have called out everybody else at the table like Kenya asked her to. Okay, because you're sitting right next to the other person, which was Porsha, because Porsha already told you, oh, she's not going to be spending her attorney money up in that bitch. Okay, so Drew also is going through a divorce. So if you're going to give grace to this one over here going through a divorce, then you're going to need to give a grace to this one over here. And guess what? Drew got 3 kids, bitch, not 1. Okay, so she really going to need her fucking coins. Okay, so while you over there clocking tea, make sure you clock the tea around the table. Let's be very clear. Okay, but I understand you ain't trying to get on Porsha's bad side, considering the fact that y'all just had to sit down. But I guarantee you, good side or not, if the roles were reversed and Porsha was sitting in that seat, she would have called your ass out, regardless of what conversation y'all just had. Get that together, okay? No. I'm just letting you know, okay? Because you was wrong for that, all right? You was wrong. So that's just how I feel about that. If Drew brings a receipt, great. If she doesn't, I don't give a damn, because you ain't pressed up on nobody else that did not buy that was sitting amongst the table. So at this point, I could care less if she showed it. But let's keep going. So Kelly, no. So let's keep, okay, so Shamia. Oh, did I get to the fact that when Drew showed the phone, Dennis was texting, it was in a group chat, and what Kelly did in an effort to deflect from having to call out everybody else at the table that did not buy, she decided to highlight that Dennis was texting. And I said, because I would have brought it back around. Don't worry about who texting in my phone. Don't worry about it, sweetheart, because first of all, it's the group text. But what you need to do is highlight who all did not buy. Okay, because that's the conversation we having in this moment. Who did not buy? Who you talking about? Because you was ready to call me out for some reason. So who did not buy? Let us know. Don't deflect, BIT. And there's that. So Shamia decides to let everybody know, like, listen, I've been working on some music, honey. So Shamia plays her track, Never Had, and out the gate, Porsha. What was going on, baby? What was going on with you? What you had going on? What was that about? Porsha, what was that about? So the whole time this woman's song was playing, Porsha was talking. Then said that was not Shamia, that was Drew. You were being messy. You are. You know damn well that was her. Okay? Angela over there like, damn, girl, you been knowing this girl since y'all was yay high. And you mean to tell me that you don't know her vocals? She says that she thought it was Drew because the vocals sounded great. But at the same time, their vocals are so different. They're different. I feel like, sometimes when people sing, they may add like a slight bit of auto-tune for the track. Not that, and we all know Shamia doesn't need it, but it doesn't mean that it probably wasn't added. I don't know. And is that something you were trying to highlight, that she doesn't really sound like herself? Like, what was that about? And then throwing Drew in the mix, like, I don't know, Porsha, it just was not a good look. It just was not. And then when the song was over and everybody was raving about it and clapping and everything, you gave nothing. If anything, you said, are you on it? Were you on the song? Is the vocals in the room with us? Like, are they on the track? Was that you? I was like, Porsha. Miss Diane. Can you hear me back there? Okay, I just wanted to see if this was the dog that be carrying the bone that you was talking about last week. Well, I'm just letting you know that she got a few bones over here. Okay, you gonna pick them up later? That's fine. Because what the fuck was that? No, man. I said, this some messy shit here, girl. You did not seem happy. And it really sucks because I have no doubt that Porsha is devastated and hurt by her divorce and stuff. And she's trying to push through, especially through the embarrassment and everything. But then some of the actions is making people think that when you're unhappy, you want others to kind of be just a bit. And I don't like that. Porsha, that's not looking good, love. It's not. So the ladies write questions. It's time for them to write questions and give answers or whatever the case is going to be. So Shamia was asked about what she gave her husband for giving her that Rolls Royce, and she was like, I gave him that guac 3,000. Okay, so she done gave him some of that booty and that toogie loogie, that tongue. So Angela asked, what's something about her, or at least she was asked what was something about her that she didn't want anyone to know. I was like, well, what is that, Angela? So she says that she's an open book. I said, you is? And then somebody asked her about threesomes. She was like, oh, no. We won't be doing no threesomes. Like, Porsha said, oh, okay, well, I did hear that Charles was spicy, honey. Okay. And she was like, you what? She was like, yeah, I heard something about Charles. She said, well, then go. She said, no, we'll get to it later. Who next? We'll get to it. And I kind of like that, though, just a little piece. I kind of like that, just a little piece. I'm like, Porsha, you ain't even have to do that lady like that. Okay, you didn't even have to do her like that in that moment. But I'm like, Porsha probably don't know shit about Charles. Possibly. She might. But let's say she don't. Maybe she does. Maybe she knows about the baby or something like that. And maybe she ain't giving all of that. Or maybe she just want to get her hot and bothered by saying it. But I was here for it in the moment. So, Angela says, girl, now Angela one line what she said, baby, Porsha don't even want to talk about her own marriage and her divorce. But you over here worried about Charles? I said, I know that's motherfucker right. Okay, I know that's right, girl. Don't sit up here and try and bring up my man and you don't want to talk about yours at all. That's why you over here trying to pick fights with different people, okay? That's what you trying to do. Because you ain't bringing what you thought you was finna be bringing this season. I was like, ooh, child. So Kenya, I think she was asked about her panties or something up under her dress. And then Kenya was also asked, why is she worried about a happily married woman? And Kenya said, I don't know. She said something that was like a joke, like, I don't know, it's a habit or something. They said, are you serious? And she was like, no, I'm just joking. So then Brit goes on to ask her, ask her about being more kind to her or something like that. And then Kenya's like, I can't be more kind. I feel like I've been kind this entire time to everybody or whatever. And Brit's like, but I'm talking about me right now. And Kenya's like, and bitch, I'm talking about everybody, which includes you. Like, I'm confused, but I'm talking about me. Girl, that's when you really showed yourself. Like, that's when you really. And when Kenya told you, she says, I'm not going to be playing these childish games with you, girl. She says, queens can't, she said, peasants can't come for queens. Okay? And she is a pageant queen. So, I mean, it works, okay? A peasant can't come for a queen, baby. But that one really was set Brit over the edge. Brit said something to somebody saying, I didn't send for her. Kenya said, thanks for using my line or something like that, or my language or whatever it was, my read. And that really pissed Miss Brit off, honey. Brit got up. Brit was talking that stuff. Brit was over there like, where my husband? Let me go get my husband. Where is my husband? Let me go get somebody that actually cares about me. And it's like, Brit, you ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to do all that. Congratulations. You're married. Like, you ain't got to do all that, girl. The people know, okay? Then she starts talking about, we're not done. We not done. Okay, we still got, we could say whatever like that. I mean, I got my pistol. For what? What you need that for? What you gonna do with that? What you need that for? All she said was you couldn't come for her. All she said was that she's been kind to everybody, including you. Why you need a pistol for somebody that's been nice? Huh? What's going on? So then she get outside with the husband and stuff. Husband trying to figure out what the hell going on. She getting big talk now. Even bigger talk from Mike over there. You know what I'm saying? You're going to learn some respect. You can do that shit if you want to, but this is real life. This here is real. I got whips. I got pistols. This is real life. You can do that Hollywood shit if you want to. You got to learn some manners. I'm sorry. And you're supposed to be the one to son me? I'm a little confused. Like, are you okay? Are you okay? This is not Love and Hip Hop. I understand the transitions may have had you fucked up, but this is Real Housewives, and I'm a little confused on the energy here right now. Like, what is that? There you go. You need pistols and whips? Wow, the last whip I saw was with Bolo, but what are you doing? Are you okay? What are we doing here? Like, what? So that's what went down. Miss Brit did a lot too much, okay? Brit did a whole lot. And before we get up out of here, I want us to get into some flashy backy of what was said in some articles last year. Okay. Let's get that up on the screen. Get it around on that side. All right. So this was back in June of 2024. All right. Let's kind of go through this just a little bit. Kenya Moore and Brit are giving further insight into their side of the story, feuding, involving an alleged gun threats. Okay. Let's see. Kenya says, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. The truth always come to light. Brit says, let's scroll down to what Brit had said. Where is that post at? Is this the here you go. So Brit had said, let me exit out of that. See if I can read what Brit done sat up here and put on the screen. She says, it's never a good feeling being targeted or hazed by someone. Girl, you was not hazed at all. I thought I would embrace me. I thought I guess that's what she mean. I thought it would embrace me into a new circle, or thought she would. Okay, let me start over. I'm sorry. It's never a good feeling being targeted or hazed by someone I thought would embrace me into a new circle that I never met. For the record, I've never once had possession of any weapons or threatened anyone ever. She says, I've never even been to jail in a fight, or even had as much as a speeding ticket. That's not in my character. I'm hurt by the narrative that's being displayed. Ma'am, wrong is wrong. I agree. I think wrong is wrong. But what I hated is that you were able to get to the people with your narrative of that particular moment, because I'm not even on next week yet. We'll get there, okay? But I hate that you would use this moment to try and change the narrative, but then say that you hate the narrative that's being displayed. Well, then what are your thoughts about what was showed to us and displayed on television? Because you said those things, okay? You also said when you would get in fights with girls, your sister would have to come up there and fight them. Okay, so something's going on, Brit. I don't know. I think you just got some stuff you need to work on, okay? What else? It was something else that I had wanted to highlight from here. It's unclear what sparked the feud between the two Bravo celebrities to begin with, but cameras have been rolling for season 16. It's unknown whether the party where the risque images of Edie were shown will air. They weren't sure. They said Bravo has allegedly launched an investigation into this incident. But there was one time, let me see, producers even considered rebooting this franchise. No. Because I got another article, but there was one. Is it here? Okay, Edie also disputed ever making any such threats in her post. She says, we got into that. Multiple sources, including production, also confirmed that the alleged GUN threat was never made at Moore's party. Keep in mind, they said at Kenya Moore's party because it wasn't made at her party. However, the production insider insisted there had never been a weapon on set. Okay, so that was said. And then at a later time, let me see. Yeah, so the last post was on June 8th or something. This one here was on the 14th. Let me scroll down to where. Okay. Meanwhile, an insider insisted to us that the explicit photos in question were readily accessible online. The insider went on to claim that Edie had made threats to Moore using the word GUN before the event. However, a production source told us at no time was Kenya ever threatened with a weapon. Nor was there ever a weapon present during the course of production. And I just felt like that was shady as hell, only for them to pan to show that a good bit of production was there at the time that she said that she got her pistol. All right. And I don't want to hear anything about, oh, well, she didn't directly say, I'm going to shoot you, Kenya. I don't want to hear that, because as Black folks, we all know when somebody say, I got my strap or I got this and that, you know what they mean. Okay. You know what the intent is behind that when a person says that. Okay. So that's just what that was. Now, Miss Kenya Moore did come out, and she also has some things to say about the matter at hand. All right. So she says, being the loudest standing Real Housewives of Atlanta member threatened with whips and pistols by a newcomer 3 weeks into filming. She says, seeing this obsession play out is scary. I wanted protection and assurances that the threats would be taken seriously. I may be strong, but I'm not bulletproof. Then she says, it's so painful to see my storyline being told by someone else. With that said, I really appreciate Kelly being so kind and supportive to me. And listen, that was my thing. Like, I just feel like if Brit didn't have to leave just yet with her threats, I feel like just keep Kenya on to at least do her confessionals and to somewhat explain why she did what she did. You know, I think that would have been perfectly fine. So Candiace says they always want to try and humble you when you're smarter than them and they're show ponies. Kenya deserves better. That's all I'm going to say about it. So Kenya goes on. Somebody says, Kenya, we're dying exactly. I guess we're dying to know exactly. We have absolutely no context. Okay. Kenya says, babe, there is no context missing. No other interaction, no prior meetings, no gossip, nothing. All right. Someone else says, I wonder if Bravo TV is going to edit it out and make you look bad and Brit look like the victim. They good for that. She says, I may be a lot of things, but I'm not bulletproof. Praying the world will see what provoked me to take the actions I took. Okay. She goes on to say, obsession is an understatement when it comes to Miss Brit. Yeah, it is giving a bit weird, Brit. Just a bit. It is giving a bit weird, but we'll see on next week what that's going to look like and see, you know, how we feel about it, you know, whether we feel like, oh, you threatened her, whatever the case was, you wanted to be big dog and Kenya need to know who she was working with. So she put that out there and let the people, she exposed you. Or if we're going to feel like at the end of the day, Kenya was absolutely wrong. She should have never did that, whatever. So we'll see. At a later time. But yeah, y'all can leave y'all thoughts and comments down below about the matter at hand. I haven't seen Brit say anything, but I can imagine what them texts, what them DMs looking like. I try, because listen, the Bravo fans be getting out of control sometimes. All in the lady DMs, probably calling her a liar, probably saying what they gonna do. Yeah, ain't no telling what I was going on. But that's all that I got for y'all. All right. I just wanted to come and give y'all this review. That's all I got. I'm Jami, that's me. Don't forget to like up the video. Subscribe to the channel. And of course, y'all know I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters. I'm silent. Nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification. Them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM. And the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF. Got them trying to clone